Time 9:30. Watching the opening bell right here. Quick check of the markets and check out the big board. It is big at the moment, up about 75 points. We are off and running today, 5 days before our midterm. Triple-digit gains for the moment. Pretty decent day yesterday too. I mean, we shook things off from the day before, right? Up about 250 points at the close yesterday. Earnings, economic data, jobs number tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dow Jones, I mentioned 240 to the positive side from yesterday. So
don't underestimate
there
that.
We go.
A big jobs number just days before election day. It's gonna have some influence. And but what a month for October. Not so good. Worst one since January 2016.
Most volatile or worse in terms of downdraft?
Percentage loss.
Yeah, right. I mean. That's, you know what I say? You know what I call that?
Yeah.
No bueno.
He does, actually.
I'm a bull. It's no bueno. All right.
We'll be watching the markets for you. Meantime, President Trump heading to Missouri today, making a push for GOP Senate candidate Josh Hawley. Hawley is locked in a tight race with Democrat incumbent Claire McCaskill. A Fox News poll showing the two candidates are virtually tied with only 5 days to go till midterm elections. Missouri Attorney General Josh Hawley joins us now. Josh, good morning to you. How are you feeling 5 days out?
We feel great. We feel very good. We're delighted to have the president here in the state today, coming back in a few days. We've got strong momentum on our side, great crowds, huge enthusiasm, and people are ready to take back this Senate seat and stop a liberal takeover. As
you mentioned, today, and he's coming back in a couple days, 2 visits in the final 5 days before Election Day, the president. Why is his presence there so needed and so important?
Well, because Missouri could be the seat that determines control of the Senate. You look around the map, I mean, it really could come down here to the state of Missouri, and voters in Missouri know that. That's why they're so energized to vote. I mean, people, as we travel the state, and I have been all over this state, people are very enthusiastic to vote. I mean, it is incredible, the enthusiasm out there. And I think the president knows how high the stakes are, and we're sure glad that he is coming to see us twice.
The president carried Missouri by 19 points in the 2016 election. How popular is he there today?
No, I mean, his policies are well received. He is well received. I mean, and that's putting it mildly. I mean, look, we've got unemployment at 3.3% in the state of Missouri, wage growth at a 10-year high, rural unemployment falling here in our state. So the president's policies are working, but Claire McCaskill, my opponent in this race, wants to throw all of that in reverse. She's for open borders. She's for amnesty. She's for higher taxes. That's not what Missourians want, and that's why this election is so important.
You're talking about how popular the president's policies are. In recent days, the president has decided to take up the consideration of ending birthright citizenship. Where do you stand on that issue with the president?
Well, I think we've absolutely got to end chain migration, and I'm willing to consider any proposal to do it. You know, the president, by executive order, may have the ability to vary the naturalization process. He said the other day that, of course, the U.S. Supreme Court will have to decide exactly what the 14th Amendment means in this connection. But I think any proposal, whether it's executive action or a legislative proposal that would get rid of chain migration, reform our immigration system so that it actually works for the workers of my state and of this country, is absolutely vital.
But specifically on that issue, do you support his call and consideration to end birthright citizenship?
Well, the president said yesterday that the Supreme Court is going to actually have to weigh in on what the 14th Amendment means. It's a constitutional question, and he's right about that. But he's also right that he can probably vary the naturalization process, and Congress probably can too. And I think we need to consider all avenues to end chain migration, to stop the influx of illegal immigrants, absolutely, into this country, and also to reform our immigration system. Look, we have an immigration system that does not work for the workers of this country, including especially the people of Missouri. We need to change it. The president's right about that.
All right, so let's take a look at the latest polling in this race. We showed the Fox News poll, which shows it as a dead heat, even at 43%. Here is the latest Real Clear Politics average, which shows you with a 2-point lead. I can't stress it enough. We're just days away. The president's visiting there twice. What is your strategy in the days and the hours left?
No, just to tell it like it is. I mean, to remind people that Senator McCaskill's record is a liberal left record, voting for amnesty, sponsoring an open borders bill, voting for higher taxes, voting against Brett Kavanaugh, and participating in the smear campaign against him. This isn't a record the people of Missouri want. And, you know, she knows it because she wants to talk about anything other than her record, but we're not going to let her get by with it.
Well, she does
November
talk about her
6th
voting record in this interview with our own Brett Baer on Special Report on Monday. Here's your opponent.
I voted for over 70% of President Trump's judicial nominees. 70%. I voted for more than half of his cabinet members. I vote with him half the time. He signed 38 of my bills into law. That doesn't sound like, to me, somebody who is knee-jerk. Some of my colleagues are knee-jerk against the president. I don't get up every day figuring out how to fight the president. I get up every day trying to figure out how I can fight for Missourians.
Really interesting move and strategy that we're seeing from her in these final days. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a bunch of nonsense. I mean, this is somebody who votes with Chuck Schumer 90% of the time. Probably almost all Democrats vote with the president, quote unquote, half the time. I mean, if it's renaming the local post office. But when it comes to Brett Kavanaugh, Justice Gorsuch, tax cuts, immigration, tariffs, Senator McCaskill has been against this president and against our state on every issue that matters, not just this last year, but now for 12 long years. It's a liberal left record that she has. She knows it. That's why Chuck Schumer has spent so much money in Missouri, here more than anywhere else, trying to get her reelected. She's a reliable left-wing Democrat. That's why she's going to lose on next Tuesday.
She, on a campaign stop over the weekend, she implored volunteers on her campaign pick up extra shifts. She has suggested in that room that this race could come down to the number of folks in that room. She's talking about how close this is. How close do you believe that this race ultimately is, Josh?
Oh, it's absolutely close. So there's no doubt about it. And but the momentum is also on our side, and you can see that. I think if you listen carefully to Senator McCaskill, and certainly if you come on the trail with us and look at our campaign versus hers, she's begging folks to help man her campaign offices. Meanwhile, we've got hundreds of volunteers all over the state out there knocking doors. Just knocked 1 million doors completed earlier this week. I mean, it's really our Get Out the Vote operation is extraordinary. The enthusiasm on our side is extraordinary, and that's why we're going to win.
Enthusiasm. How do you get them out to vote?
Well, listen, folks know what the stakes are in this election. The Brett Kavanaugh hearings, that smear campaign, the United States Supreme Court, what Senator McCaskill did with the Senate Democrats there is tremendous motivation. The need to secure the border, tremendous motivation. The need to actually get wages growing and to prevent a massive tax increase, tremendous motivation. People are motivated. They're ready to vote.
Josh Hawley, you have got a heck of a few days ahead of you here. I'm assuming you're going to rest up, but it's going to be a busy few days for you. Any last words from you as the president? You await the president today.
We're so excited to have him. This is the most important Senate race in the country for determining control of the Senate. And it's a choice between the liberal left agenda of Claire McCaskill or the strong America agenda of Donald Trump. And I think I know which way Missourians are going to go.
The country is watching this race. Josh Hawley, thank you for taking the time to come on this morning.
Thank you.